The number one threat that our native species face is feral cats.
Much of Australia's native fauna is unique. We call it endemic, meaning in Australia and nowhere else in the world. And so we have a special responsibility for maintaining that fauna. So in that context, impacts of feral cats are particularly important.
The current focus of feral cat management in Australia has switched to a focus on recognising that certain cats will have greater impact in the environment than others, and certain environments and certain species will be impacted more than others. So rather than just focusing on the total number of feral cats that we dispatch, we are working our management programs in a better way, so we focus on having the greatest impact on allowing our biodiversity to recover.
The biggest challenge with feral cats is that they're notoriously difficult. They are trap shy, they are very picky eaters, which I can understand. I used to be a picky eater. So being able to target these cats in these landscapes is very difficult and very challenging. And something that works here in the southwest might not work in the Kimberley and might not work in Tasmania.
There's no silver bullet with how we manage feral cats. We need a lot of tools. We need multiple tools that we can use across different landscapes.
We have shooting, we have trapping, we have baiting, we have newer technology traps that put toxins out.
One of the easiest ways that we can deal with feral cat predation is to improve vegetation complexity. That vegetation is what provides small vertebrates with spaces to crawl into and hide away from predators.
So I'm looking at using artificial refuges for small mammal and reptile species to reduce feral cat predation in disturbed landscapes. It's a lot easier for them to hunt and run around in, and our wildlife are more exposed because there's no natural refuge or natural home for our wildlife. So by using artificial refuges, that gives our wildlife somewhere to run and hide and escape a feral cat attack.
We've had a very successful program, the Western Shield program, that's been running for 28 odd years, and that has very successfully returned some species, native species, back to good population sizes, and that's a very powerful program. Unfortunately, when it comes to cats, they're much less likely to take carrion, and therefore they've been much less likely to take baits. The new Eradicat bait, which is about to be registered across Australia, that will make a big difference. But until we have that rolled out at large scale, feral cats are still going to remain a big problem. The Felix trap is an amazing tool which enables us to target cats that are moving down roads, and the Felix detects them and will spit out a small dose of 1080, and that then is licked off the cat's fur. And that's a really targeted way of making sure that we're just getting cats in the landscape. We need other tools as well, tools that don't always rely on toxins, and there's some fantastic developments that are happening at the moment with smart cameras and camera activated traps, and the Bush Guardian trap is one that we're hoping we'll be able to develop in the next few years, which will then allow us to target cats out of areas where we don't want to be putting in toxins.
We are working on how to improve monitoring methods for these feral cats, so through camera trap deployment, through the use of lures, and also how to better individually ID these animals, because that ties into being able to know more about the population and by extension then how your management strategies, if there are any in place, how effective those are as well.
We have a number of techniques that are implemented at the moment, but improving the resourcing of these and making sure more land managers can access these tools and deploy them on their land, and then subsequently measure the improvements in biodiversity is absolutely essential. And we have genetic biocontrol tools that are a number of years off, but promise some huge potential transformational outcomes if we can implement those against feral cats. So there is a lot going on in this space, but it's moving absolutely in the right direction, and more importantly, it's building support to implement this across the nation.